My name is George Suarez Alvarez. I've been a registered nurse for the last 6 years. I'm passionate about health and wellness, financial literacy, and faith. There's been something on my mind recently, and we actually made a post about it a while ago. But there's 3 things that we all have. 3 things that I have, 3 things that you have, 3 things that everybody that you love has, your family, your friends, the people you will love, the people you have loved. In fact, open up your phone, scroll through your contact list, look at all your contacts. Every single one of your contacts has these 3 things. What are these 3 things? Time, energy, attention, and focus. And generally, if you look at what you're doing with these 3 things, it's directly proportional to the outcome of your life. Super important to understand what these 3 things are and what we can do about it. So I'm actually going to open up my phone here and pull up the post and go through this post one by one, and we'll talk about it. So the first one is time. And before I get into this, I actually want to quickly mention, I understand that each of us is extremely different. We each have different circumstances. I could only speak from my circumstance. However, we all have the same 24 hours. And what we decide to do with that is entirely up to us, right? Time. What if I told you this? Busyness is laziness. Most people stay constantly busy with work or other activities as a way to avoid taking care of their health, finances, relationships, or prayer life. That is hard to read because I've experienced this myself. I've done this myself, right? There's so many things to do on a daily basis, and you decide to do all the little things, but deep down, you're really avoiding the hard truths. You're really avoiding the painful things that you have to take care of. You know you have to be healthier. You know you have to choose healthier habits. You know you have to fix your finances. You know you got to get out of debt. You know you have to think about the future and think about, okay, what are we going to do here? You know you have to have these difficult conversations in your relationships, and you know you have to pray. You know you have to pray. But we choose these little tasks because deep down we're avoiding the hard truths, right? Staying busy with little activities to avoid facing uncomfortable truths can prevent you from taking massive action. There's a difference between engaged with work and staying busy to avoid confronting hard truths. Time is such an important thing to be aware of. And it's all about perspective. I'll give you an example. 2 days ago, I'm listening to a podcast with Patrick Bet-David. And somebody asked him, hey Pat, how do you find the time to read all these books that you read? How do you find the time to read the books and also manage your businesses and take care of your family and be present with your kids and your wife? And Patrick Bet-David's answer was very interesting. He said, well, you're asking the wrong question. He's like, did you eat today? He's like, of course I ate today. He's like, well, how'd you find the time to eat? And I thought that was such an interesting answer, such an interesting response, because it's all about how you look at things. If it matters to you, you will make time. Did you eat today? If it matters to you, you will make time. Another example, a very close friend of mine, Darrell. Shout out to you, Darrell. My first job as an ICU nurse. Just remember walking in there, meeting everyone. And Darrell was he was the fittest person there. And he was constantly busy, working a lot. But I noticed that he was the fittest one there. So naturally, I went up to him and asked him. I said, hey, Darrell, I know you're busy. You got a lot going on. How often do you work out? Like, how do you stay fit? Like, oh, I work out, 5 times a week. And at that time, it was hard for me to understand. I'm like, wait, you work 5 times a week? Like, we work 12-hour shifts. Like, when do you find the time? He's like, oh, no. I have to work out. So I get it done. And I thought that was such an interesting perspective because everybody in that environment, right? We kind of have, we don't have the same schedule, but we have the same time frame. But it's just a matter of what you choose to do in the time that you have and the willingness that you have to get the task done. What's important to you? Interesting things. Number 2 is energy. Are you in a low energy state? In fact, when you think of somebody in a low energy state, what do you think of? You can actually envision it. If you close your eyes, think of someone in a low energy state. They're probably, down, bad posture, shoulders forward, head down. Oh man, worried. What about somebody who's in a high energy state? Posture's different, The way they're thinking, the way they're speaking is different, right? The quality of your state is the quality of your life. We got that from Tony Robbins. We did his Unleash the Power Within conference at the beginning of the year, my wife and I. Amazing, highly recommend it. But this was something that he was specifying a lot. The quality of your state is the quality of your life. And as a healthcare professional, I'll tell you, our modern environment drains us with toxins. It's everywhere, right? It's in our food, it's in our water, it's in our clothes, it's in the air we breathe, it's in the products we use, right? It's in a lot of places. And these things have the potential to sap our energy. However, we have choices to make because we can do things to counteract that. Low energy equals low state, and a low state equals a low willingness to push forward. But there are things that we can do about it. We can move our body, we can nourish our mind, right? And we can put ourselves in high energy state. We have to choose it. When you have more energy, you can tackle more challenges, you can solve bigger problems, and you can stay more organized, and you can be more present with your family, with your friends. You can feel better, right? If you elevate your energy, you will elevate your life. Energy is extremely important. Number 3, attention and focus. Tony Robbins, he has a saying, where focus goes, energy flows. I actually catch myself saying this a lot because anytime my focus goes somewhere where I know it shouldn't, I just repeat it to myself. Okay, remember, where focus goes, energy flows. Bring it back. If you find yourself off the path, bring it back. Where focus goes, your energy flows. Your life is what you decide to focus on. It's crazy. I was on the phone with my brother David. Shout out to David. I'm on the phone with him. I'm talking to him about the RAS system, which is something we'll talk about in another video. But essentially, we're talking about how what you focus on really comes, right? Have you ever really wanted something really bad, and everywhere you look, you just see it. Before you didn't, but now that you're focused on it, it's just coming to you everywhere you go, everywhere you look. You're like, oh my God, I see. That's the thing I was thinking about. Or when you have an idea, or when you're thinking creatively, everywhere you go gives you an idea. Everywhere you go, you're like, oh my God, wait, I should do this. Wait a minute, this would work really well here and there, right? It's because you're focused. Where focus goes, the energy flows. However, your life is what you decide to focus on. Most people focus on fear. What if you focused on fear? What if you focused on, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, I don't think I'm capable. I can't lift that weight. Oh, I can't go to the gym. No, I can't do this, can't do that. If you focus on that, then what you think will come to you in your life? What do you think you will experience in your life? What if you focus on the opposite? What if you focus on God? What if you focus on gratitude? What if you focus on, thank you for everything I have. Thank you because I'm blessed. I'm a billionaire in blessings. What if you focus on that? If you decide to focus on fear, your energy will be scattered, leaving you paralyzed and ineffective. By consciously choosing what to focus on, it's a choice, you will influence your direction and intensity in life. Show me what you focus on and I will show you your life. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I think that this is extremely valuable because if we want to change, we have to really pay attention to these 3 things in our life. What are we doing with our time? What are we doing with our attention and focus? And what are we doing with our energy? How are all these things right now? How do you want them to be, right? Really take a look. Ask yourself, what am I doing with my time? How is my energy? What am I doing with my energy? What am I doing with my attention and focus? It's something to constantly check in with on yourself because there's always progression to be made on these 3 things. However, these are 3 things that everyone has. People operating at a high level choose to do different things with their 3 things. People operating at a low level choose to do different things with those 3 things. So it's up to you, right? What do you want? How are you going to change your time? How are you going to change your energy? How are you going to change your attention and focus? I hope this brings you value. I hope it will help you and your family. God bless you guys.